G'day folks, welcome to a Thursday afternoon at Ed Systems. Not an awful lot on tonight. I actually got work tomorrow, so goody for that, because we're pretty much flat out at the moment. Just trying to catch up on some stuff. Yeah, just gonna do a little bit of an update for Towrecker particularly, or Belts Towing now, his new channel. I've received a rather large package from him. Look up that channel name, Belts Towing. I'll put a link in the description. His name's Jason. He runs a towing business and that sort of thing. He's got a Towrecker called Tow Mater. I actually had to watch the movie Cars to work out what Mater was. But yeah, really cool guy. He sent me and Brad a whole pile of stuff, so Brad's coming over tomorrow anyway to do something. And we're going to open this thing up and have a look what's inside. We'll see what goodies we've managed to smuggle into the country. Mind you, there was a pile of paperwork that thick that came with it, customs forms, so yeah. All I know is there's a pack of smokes in there, which definitely made it through. This hasn't been chopped open by customs, so that's good. I'm sure they don't mind one pack of smokes going through, but if the whole thing was full of smokes, they might have a bit of a problem with it. Yeah, so we'll have fun with that tomorrow afternoon. BMW's dried itself out before I figured out what was wrong with it, so who cares, I just won't drive through thick heavy rain or water again. That car does not like water. Yeah, so it's running alright now, it just needs usual service and tappet adjustment now. Either way, it's for sale. 800 bucks or best offer. I'll take less though, I'll just get rid of the damn thing. Yeah, what else was there? I just got some request before that, was it somebody by the name Richard wanted to hear me say bumblebees. Why the hell do you want me to say bumblebees? Oh well, there you go. We don't have bumblebees here, we have honeybees. Regular bees and European wasps. Wonderful. A few people ask me what this guy is. It's a full-size tarantula in wet resin. Mind you, his legs are all sort of bunched up, so it's not as big as they actually get. Wouldn't mind a pet tarantula, that's one spider I would own. It's sitting on a thrust bearing from that AC compressor, so now it's a rotarantula. It's paperweight actually. Mum and Dad bought it back from USA when they went over there in the mid-90s. Even back then, this was actually a prohibited import in Australia. I'm surprised they got it through. Either way, Jason's had a problem with his battery charger. Big one. He might have abused it a little bit using the cranking mode, 200 amp cranking mode too long, and magic smoke came out and now it doesn't work anymore. And he said the bridge rectifier diodes got very, very hot. Like there's melted plastic around them. So I'm thinking he's blown the bridge rectifier, but the next part of the video should help give him an idea on what to check and what to go through, because apparently it's a $300 charger. Yeah, so I'm going to set up a couple of examples on the table. I don't have an example of a bridge rectifier with 8 wires attached to it. That's probably going to be the tricky bit. Otherwise, I'd probably be happy just to pull some bits out of my bits box down there and actually make him a bridge rectifier that he could just wire in. But the with 8 wires and different, probably various switching capability, current switching or voltage switching going through it, who knows? It's too tricky to do half a world apart. Might actually have to buy a new charger, but we'll at least try and save it. And I have got this old Trinitron TV working, it's just not working in colour. Like, colour does not do anything. It's on UHF at the moment. And you sort of get a flicker of colour there, but oh, there we go. That's alright, didn't do that yesterday. It has been dropped, and that's why I suspect that there's a problem in there. But yeah, yesterday I could not get it to do that, so that's a good bonus. So right now, AV. Yeah, so that's a DVD player, which is still in black and white actually. That's supposed to be a colour screen, so it's done it again. And now it won't come out of it. Channel. I wonder if the DVD player is screwed. I got all these ones from Deb at work. She gave me a whole pile of old electronics and things, including the VHS, which still works, and about 3 DVD players and a set-top box HDMI unit with a stuck CD drawer, DVD drawer. So we'll look at this stuff later. Nice TV, but yeah, very limited in what you can do with CRT sets. Very, very limited these days. The black and white one works too, but it's just standard VHF analog signal. I need to set up an antenna mast outside the shed in order to get anything in here. Otherwise it's just a bit of a dead duck. But it does come up, it does work. We just can't tune it into anything. Nice sets though. I grew up in front of one of these for many years before I got an old colour set. Sort of like this. I had a bigger version of these Trinitrons, the what do you call it, 36-inch Trinitron, with the same timber case and everything. It's pretty much the same as my first colour TV, and my God, were they heavy, with double thick laminated glass on the front of them. Heavy. Okay, so the rest of this is for Towrecker and Jason Belts Towing, and anyone else who's just interested in learning how to repair or at least diagnose battery chargers and just DC systems. Like, we'll use that bridge rectifier also as an example. This is my dad's old charger that he gave to me. I think it was his grandfather's or something. It's very old, but the principle is still the same. You definitely can't get them anymore, but the principle's still the same. It's a very simplistic charger. No electronics or monitoring. It's up to you when to turn the battery off or disconnect it. But what it sounds like has happened is you've fried the bridge rectifier. Jason was saying there's melted plastic and stuff on some of the connectors. Obviously it's going to be bigger than this, but the principle is still the same, because each one of those little button cell looking things is a diode. And if one of them goes open circuit, or two of them goes open circuit or short, it'll pull the whole thing down. Now if the transformer was still humming, which he says it was, it means it's probably still alright. But the best thing to do to start troubleshooting it is to set your multimeter to AC voltage and measure from whatever its output terminal is. Establish what the terminals are, of course. So you got, in this case, 240 volts into the primary, which is a lower winding, and the thicker winding on top is a secondary. So work out your connections, what goes where, and then set to AC volts and measure across the transformer. This one has two taps. It has 12 volts and 6 volts. So measure each tap and make sure you're getting roughly, I don't know, it'd be 15 volts AC, or, no, sorry, rectifies increased voltage, so it'd be like 11 volts, maybe 12 volts AC on the 12 volt side, and maybe 5.4 volts on the 6 volt side, 5.6, even 6 volts on the 6 volt side. By the time it goes through the rectifier, it should be a bit higher, particularly for battery charging. You want about 14.5 volts to charge a 12 volt battery. And yeah, you want to check for voltage, AC voltage, make sure the transformer's working, make sure you haven't blown a thermal fuse or something in it. That's one thing that particularly newer chargers tend to trick you with. They'll have a thermal fuse stuffed into the windings, so that if it does get a bit hot from abuse, it blows it and just doesn't work again. So make sure that's not a problem. Make sure you get an AC voltage up to the rectifier. Then set your meter to direct current and measure from wherever the DC wires of the rectifier come out and go to the rest of the battery charger. Make sure you're getting DC off that. If you're not getting DC, then the rectifier's blown. If you're getting proper DC voltages, like 14.5 volts off your 12 volt setting, off the rectifier, then something further down the line's blown. Maybe a hidden fuse or something, a big panel mount fuse, a voltage regulator. Some of the newer ones run solid state regulators. This one here is a 24 volt truck battery charger, and that had a just a T203 package, I think it was, voltage reg in it, and that was completely open circuit, so it killed it. I haven't replaced it yet. I'm just running straight DC to the electrolysis tank, but it had electronics in it which failed it when it got overamped. So yeah, before you throw it in the bin, just go through and make sure you got voltages where you're supposed to have voltages. Now, obviously, just be careful of the 110 volt side. I'm guessing you're always running 110 in it. But yeah, just poke around and measure across things and establish whether or not you've got voltage coming out of that rectifier pack that you found. More than likely you've probably blown the rectifier, but just in case, give everything else a bit of a check over. This is the same deal. I built this one from scratch using scrap components. They're 63 amp rectifiers or diodes, and all you do is you put alternating current in one side and it gets rectified down to direct current, which is positive on this side and negative on this side. So that's a simple rectifier, but apparently yours has 8 wires on it, so I can't really explain that without seeing a diagram or a lot of good photographs of it. But it sounds like it might be a bit complicated to repair it, a lot more complicated than building something like this and just shipping it over to you, or just buying parts and trying to repair it on the spot. So anyway, it might be time for a new charger and a lesson in letting things charge before you go into hot start mode. Yeah, it just sounds like it's overamped and popped something. Magic smoke came out. Oh well. Thanks for watching, I hope this helps.